This video is about hope. The cleaner was mocked, but a businessman gave her a fortune. If this story inspires you, please like the video, share it with loved ones, and write in the comments how it touched your heart. In the heart of the bustling city of Crestwood, surrounded by skyscrapers that kissed the clouds, a tiny cafe thrived on the corner of Maple Street. It was the kind of place where the scent of freshly brewed coffee mingled with the aroma of pastries, inviting patrons to take a moment from their hurried lives. Nestled behind the counter was a woman named Clara, a cleaner by trade, who was respected by the cafe owner, Mrs. Jensen, and adored by the regulars. Clara had been working at the cafe for over 5 years, her days filled with sweeping floors, wiping tables, and ensuring the space sparkled for its patrons. She was often found humming to herself, her spirit bright even in the face of her struggle. While the cafe bustled with laughter and conversation, Clara's life outside was far from joyful. It was a chilly Wednesday morning when Clara walked into the cafe, clutching her worn backpack, her heart heavy with worry. She was behind on her rent, and the landlord had threatened eviction if she didn't pay by the end of the week. Clara had no family to turn to, and her friends were in no better situation. Life had taught her to rely on herself, but that burden sometimes felt overwhelming. "Good morning, Clara." Mrs. Jensen greeted her with a warm smile. "Are you ready for another busy day?" Clara returned the smile, though it didn't reach her eyes. "I am, Mrs. Jensen. Just trying to keep my head above water." As the day rolled on, Clara worked diligently, her heart swelling at the joy she brought to others. She took pride in her work, knowing that a clean space could brighten someone's day. But in the back of her mind, the looming threat of eviction gnawed at her. During her break, she sat at the corner table, sipping a cup of coffee, deep in thought. A group of businessmen entered the cafe, their loud laughter cutting through the warm atmosphere. They made their way to the counter, ordering extravagant drinks and pastries that Clara could only dream of affording. One of the men, dressed in an expensive suit, pointed at her and smirked. "Look at that one. Must be nice to sweep floors and call it a job." He laughed, earning chuckles from his friends. Clara's heart sank, the laughter echoing painfully in her ears. She had grown accustomed to such mockery, but it never hurt any less. It was hard to find dignity in her role when others saw it as unworthy. Just then, Mrs. Jensen stepped in, her voice firm. "Excuse me, gentlemen, but Clara does essential work here. We all have our roles to play, and I'd rather have a clean cafe than a fancy suit any day." The men fell silent, surprised by Mrs. Jensen's boldness. Clara felt a flicker of gratitude toward her boss, but the hurt from their laughter lingered. As the day ended, Clara found herself cleaning the cafe with a heavy heart. The laughter of the businessmen echoed in her mind, mixing with her own doubts about her worth. She worked late into the night, determined to finish the tasks she had set for herself, pushing through her exhaustion. The next morning brought little relief. Clara arrived at the cafe hoping for a distraction from her worries, but the weight of her financial struggles loomed larger than ever. During lunch, a new customer entered, a man with kind eyes and an air of determination. He sat alone, his laptop open, deep in thought. Clara couldn't help but notice how different he was from the group of businessmen from the day before. He seemed focused, yet approachable, and she felt an odd sense of calm wash over her as she approached his table. "Hello, how can I help you today?" she asked with a genuine smile. "I'll have a black coffee, please," he replied, returning her smile. "And if you don't mind, I'd love to hear about your day. You seem like someone with a great story." Clara was taken aback. Most people saw her as invisible, just another worker in the background. But she found herself sharing her dreams and struggles, a rare connection sparking between them. "I've always wanted to open my own bakery," she confessed, her heart racing. "But every time I save a little, something comes up. I'm just a cleaner, I suppose." The man listened intently, his eyes full of empathy. "You're more than a cleaner, Clara. Your passion shines through when you talk about baking. It sounds like you've got a lot of resilience." Encouraged by his words, Clara continued. I feel like life is just getting heavier. I don't know if I can keep going sometimes." He leaned forward slightly, his voice softer. "I believe in the power of perseverance. You might not see it now, but your journey is shaping you for something greater." As their conversation flowed, Clara discovered that the man's name was Nathan, a successful entrepreneur who had started from humble beginnings. He listened to her hopes and dreams until she felt a spark of belief flickering inside her once more. "I'll tell you a secret," Nathan said, lowering his voice playfully. "The world needs more bakers who have heart. You have something special, Clara. Don't let anyone make you feel otherwise." Encouraged by his sincerity, Clara felt her heart swell. After a brief moment of silence, she realized she was almost ready to believe him, even if only a little. As their conversation drew to a close, Nathan asked, "Would you be willing to meet up again? I'd love to hear more about your dreams and maybe help you explore them." Clara hesitated, unsure of how someone as accomplished as Nathan could be interested in someone like her. The fear of rejection loomed in her mind, but something about Nathan's kind demeanor urged her to take the leap. "I'd like that," she replied, a smile breaking onto her face. Just then, the cafe door swung open, and Clara's landlord stormed in, a scowl etched across his face. "Clara, we need to talk! You've got 2 days left to pay your rent, or you're out," he shouted, his voice cutting through the warmth of the cafe. Clara felt the heat rise in her cheeks, the words wrapping around her throat like a tightening noose. She could feel Nathan's gaze on her, a mix of concern and determination evident in his eyes. The weight of the world felt heavier than ever. "Sir, please, I just need a little more time," Clara pleaded, her voice shaking. "Time's up. Get your act together or find somewhere else to live," he barked, turning to leave. Nathan's voice broke through the tension as he stood up, stepping toward Clara. "I'll help you. What's the amount you need?" Clara was taken aback. "No, you don't have to do that. I couldn't possibly." "I insist," he interrupted gently. "You deserve a chance to chase your dreams, and I believe you can." Tears welled in Clara's eyes, a mix of disbelief and gratitude flooding her heart. She saw in Nathan the beauty of the human spirit, the sheer kindness that could arise in the face of struggle. As the landlord walked out, Clara felt a shift in her heart. Nathan had given her a lifeline when she felt like she was drowning. It was a simple act, yet it filled her with hope. In the days that followed, Clara and Nathan met often. They discussed her dreams of opening a bakery, and Nathan helped her draft a plan, teaching her about business and marketing. She started to believe in herself in a way she never thought possible. Little by little, Clara began to dream bigger. The journey wouldn't be easy, but she felt a spark of resilience igniting within her. With Nathan's unwavering support, she was ready to embrace each challenge, knowing she was not alone in her struggle. The man who saw her for who she truly was had changed everything. She was no longer just a cleaner. She was a woman with dreams worth pursuing. And for the first time in a long while, Clara felt hopeful. To be continued. In the days that followed, Clara found herself enveloped by a sense of purpose that had long eluded her. The cafe, once just a place of employment, became a sanctuary where she could nurture her aspirations. As she cleaned tables and swept floors, she imagined her bakery bustling with life, the air rich with the scent of fresh bread and pastries. One sunny Friday afternoon, Clara arrived at the cafe with renewed energy. She wore a bright smile, her heart light as she spotted Nathan seated at their usual table. He waved her over, the warmth in his expression reassuring. "Hey, Clara, ready for our next step?" he asked, his enthusiasm infectious. "I've been thinking a lot about the bakery," she replied, her fingers fidgeting with the hem of her apron. "I even have a name in mind, Clara's Corner. It feels right, like a cozy place where everyone can feel at home." "Clara's Corner," Nathan repeated, his eyes sparkling. "I love it. We can brainstorm some recipes today. What do you think would be your signature dish?" Clara's heart raced at the thought. "I've always loved baking cinnamon rolls, the way the dough rises, the smell of cinnamon wafting through the air. They remind me of my childhood, of simpler times. Nathan leaned back, grinning. Perfect. Let's start with that. I can help you set up a small tasting event. If people love your rolls, it'll boost your confidence and gather interest. Clara's heart swelled at the thought. A tasting event! She could envision it already. The smiles as people savored her creations, the joy of sharing something she loved. But then doubt crept in, as it often did. What if they don't like them? What if I fail? Failure is not the opposite of success. It's part of it, Nathan replied, his voice steady. When you put your heart into something, even in failure, it's still a step forward. You'll learn, grow, and adapt. Clara nodded, feeling the weight of her fears lighten just a bit. Nathan's belief in her felt like a protective shield, allowing her to explore her dreams without the crippling fear of judgment. In the weeks that followed, Clara poured her heart into her baking. She experimented with flavors and techniques, often bringing the results to the cafe. Each time she presented her creations, the regulars would taste them with delight, encouraging her with every bite. Clara, these are heavenly, Mrs. Jensen exclaimed, savoring a warm cinnamon roll. You have a real talent. You must share this with the world. The cafe became a hub of excitement. Nathan, always by her side, helped her promote her tasting event through social media and word of mouth. Clara's heart fluttered with anticipation, but doubt still whispered in the back of her mind. The day of the event arrived, and Clara was a bundle of nerves. She set up a small table outside the cafe, adorned with a bright cloth and her freshly baked goods. The sun shone brightly, casting a golden glow over everything. Yet Clara felt a storm brewing inside her. Take a deep breath, Nathan said, standing beside her with an encouraging smile. Just remember, you're sharing a piece of your heart with everyone. As the first customers approached, Clara's legs felt like jelly. She greeted them with a shaky smile, offering samples of her cinnamon rolls. Would you like to try one? She asked, her voice barely above a whisper. To her surprise, the response was overwhelmingly positive. These are amazing, a woman exclaimed, her eyes lighting up. I've never tasted anything like this before. With each compliment, Clara's confidence grew. Laughter and chatter filled the air, and soon the small table was surrounded by strangers, all drawn in by the scent and the smile on her face. Clara could hardly believe it. Her dream was materializing before her eyes. But as his crowd thickened and Clara shared more of her heart, a familiar feeling crept back. The mocking laughter of the businessmen echoed in her mind. What if they knew? What if they came and laughed at her again? Nathan noticed the change in her demeanor. Hey, you're doing great. Focus on the joy you're creating, not the fear of negativity. You've come so far. As she looked around at the smiling faces, she felt a flicker of resilience ignite within her. She was no longer the invisible cleaner. She was Clara, the baker who brought joy to others. After the event, as people began to leave, Clara felt a deep sense of fulfillment wash over her. Her heart danced with hope. She had taken a leap and discovered something beautiful. Nathan clapped his hands together. You did it. The feedback was incredible. You should be so proud of yourself. I can't believe it, Clara said, her eyes wide with wonder. People actually enjoyed my baking. It feels surreal. We have to keep this momentum going, Nathan suggested, his excitement palpable. Let's plan for a pop-up bakery at the cafe next month. This could be your big launch. Clara's heart raced at the thought. A pop-up bakery? You really think it can work? Absolutely. You already have a loyal following. We can incorporate your roles and experiment with new items. You're building something special here, Clara. But as the days passed and planning began, Clara's self-doubt resurfaced. What if this is a fluke? What if I can't replicate this success? Every great achievement comes with uncertainty, Nathan assured her, his voice calm. Remember, it's okay to feel scared. It's part of the journey. What's important is to trust in your abilities. With Nathan's encouragement, Clara pushed through the fear. She began experimenting with new recipes, infusing her bakery with flavors from her memories. Banana bread that reminded her of her mother, chocolate chip cookies that brought back childhood laughter. As the date for the pop-up bakery approached, Clara felt a whirlwind of emotions. She poured her heart into every detail, from the signage to the presentation. The day dawned clear and bright, yet her stomach twisted with nerves. When the doors opened, Clara stood behind the counter, her heart racing. Would people come? Would they enjoy what she had worked so hard to create? To her astonishment, the cafe filled quickly. Familiar faces joined newcomers, all eager to try Clara's creations. She greeted everyone with a smile, feeling the warmth of their excitement wash over her. "Clara, these cookies are incredible," a customer declared, taking a huge bite. "You have to keep baking. This is so good." Tears pricked at Clara's eyes, but they were tears of joy. Amidst the laughter and chatter, the mockery of the past faded, replaced by the beauty of connection and support. As the day wound down, Nathan approached, a broad smile on his face. "Clara, you did it. Look at this turnout. You're not just a cleaner anymore. You're a bakery owner in the making." Clara shook her head in disbelief. "I never imagined this could happen. I still can't believe people came for me." "They came for you because you were brave enough to share yourself with the world," Nathan said, his tone earnest. "Your spirit shines through your baking. Remember, it's not just the goods, it's the love you pour into them." As the last customer left, Clara felt the weight of her fears lift, replaced by the warmth of fulfillment. She had transformed her struggles into something beautiful, a testament to resilience and the strength of the human spirit. That night, as Clara closed the cafe, she felt at peace. She had discovered not only her passion but also her worth. The journey ahead would be filled with challenges, but she now faced them with hope, armed with the kindness of those who believed in her. And as she stepped into the glow of the streetlights, Clara knew that she was no longer just the cleaner who swept floors. She was Clara, the baker with a dream, ready to rise to every occasion life presented her. With a heart full of gratitude, she whispered to the universe, "Thank you for this journey. I am ready." To be continued. As Clara stepped out of the cafe, the world outside felt alive. The evening air embraced her like an old friend, filled with the laughter of children playing in the park nearby and the distant hum of city life. But tonight, her heart sang a new tune, a melody of hope and possibility. She had taken a step beyond fear, and it felt liberating. Days turned into weeks, and Clara found herself immersed in her baking business. She and Nathan mapped out plans for Clara's Corner, as if they were explorers charting uncharted territories. Each morning, she woke with renewed energy, ready to create and innovate. Clara worked hard, balancing her cleaning job at the cafe with her bakery prep. Each night, she stayed up late, experimenting with new recipes, her small kitchen often filled with the sweet aroma of baked goods. Nathan would sometimes join her in the evenings, bringing his laptop to help design marketing materials while offering encouragement. "Clara, you have a gift," he said one night as they sat at her kitchen table strewn with flour. "These cookies are not just good. They tell a story. The story of who you are." "But what if no one believes that story?" she replied, her voice quivering with uncertainty. "What if I'm just a cleaner who got lucky once?" Nathan leaned across the table, his eyes serious yet warm. "You've faced challenges that could have broken you, yet you chose to rise. That resilience is your story, Clara. Embrace it. It's what makes you unique." Clara swallowed hard, feeling the weight of his words resonate deep within her soul. She wanted to believe him, to let go of the lingering shadows of doubt that crept in during quiet moments. But every time she stood at the precipice of her dreams, the fear of failure clawed at her heart. As the day approached for her first official pop-up bakery event, the excitement was palpable. Clara had advertised it through social media, and her regular customers at the cafe were buzzing with anticipation. But with each passing day, the pressure mounted. What if no one came? What if her creations didn't live up to expectations? On the night before the event, Clara lay awake in bed, staring at the ceiling, her mind racing. She recalled the mocking laughter of the businessmen from so long ago. Like a ghost haunting her thoughts, it felt as though they were shadows hovering over her, ready to pounce on any misstep. Suddenly, her phone buzzed, breaking through her spiraling thoughts. It was a message from Nathan. "Hey, just wanted to remind you. You're not alone in this. You've got this. I'll be there tomorrow to support you, always." Clara smiled through her tears, feeling warmth spread through her heart. She took a deep breath, focusing on the affirmation beneath his words. With each inhale, she envisioned the strength she had found in her journey, the kindness she had received, the dreams she had nurtured. The next morning, Clara awoke with renewed determination. She prepared her signature cinnamon rolls and chocolate chip cookies, pouring her heart into each swirl and scoop. She added a touch of cinnamon to the chocolate chip cookies, a little twist that felt symbolic of her journey, infusing her creations with her unique story. When Clara arrived at the cafe, the atmosphere was buzzing with excitement. Her heart raced as she carefully arranged the pastries on the table, ensuring everything looked inviting and perfect. But as the clock ticked closer to the opening time, her stomach twisted with nerves. "Breathe, Clara," Nathan said, stepping beside her, sensing her anxiety. "You're ready for this. Just remember to share your joy. That's what baking is all about." "Maybe I should just stay behind the counter," Clara murmured, a hint of panic in her voice. "What if I mess up?" "Clara, this isn't just about selling pastries. It's about sharing who you are. Trust your instincts and let your heart guide you," he replied, his voice soothing. As the clock struck 11 and the doors swung open, a wave of customers poured in. Clara felt her heart race, the sound of laughter and chatter enveloping her like a warm hug. With each person who approached the counter, she felt a spark of confidence igniting in her chest. "Hi there. Would you like to try a cinnamon roll?" Clara offered, her voice steady despite the flutter in her tummy. "Yes, please. I've heard amazing things about them," a young woman exclaimed, her eyes bright with excitement. With each sample she offered, Clara felt the weight of her fears lift slightly. "I hope you love it. My secret ingredient is a sprinkle of love," she said with a grin. As the morning rolled into afternoon, Clara found herself in the flow. Patrons laughed, shared stories, and praised her treats, filling the room with warmth. She felt alive. A sense of belonging enveloped her as she engaged in conversations, sharing bits of her story with those who would listen. Then, in the middle of the buzz, she spotted a familiar face, one of the businessmen who had mocked her before. A knot of apprehension twisted in her stomach, but this time, she held her ground. "Clara," he called, his tone tinged with surprise. "You, a baker now?" "Yes. Welcome to Clara's Corner," she replied, her voice steady. "Would you like to try a cinnamon roll?" He hesitated, glancing around at the crowd savoring her treats. Sure. Why not?" As she handed him a roll, Clara felt an unexpected sense of empowerment. "I hope you enjoy it. I put my heart into everything I bake." His eyes widened as he took a bite, the initial smugness fading into surprise. "This is really good." "Thank you," Clara said, a smile blooming on her face. "It's a reminder that you can't judge something before experiencing it. We all have our journeys." The businessman's expression shifted, a flicker of recognition in his gaze. "I didn't know. I'm sorry for what I said before." "Apologies are appreciated, but what matters is growth," Clara replied, her heart swelling with resilience. "We all have the capacity to change." As the event continued, Clara felt a wave of fulfillment wash over her. She was no longer the invisible cleaner. She was Clara, a baker who shared joy through her creations. The mockery of the past faded into a distant memory, overshadowed by the kindness and support she had received from those around her. As the sun began to set, Clara reflected on the day. A day filled with laughter, joy, and unexpected connections. She had conquered her fears, and in doing so had discovered her worth. "Clara, you were incredible today," Nathan exclaimed, pulling her into a warm embrace as they cleaned up. "I'm so proud of you. Thank you for believing in me," she said, her eyes glistening. "I couldn't have done it without your support." "Just remember, this is only the beginning," Nathan replied, his tone filled with excitement. "Imagine what else you can achieve." Clara looked around at the remnants of her successful day, her heart swelling with hope. She had taken a step into the light and emerged stronger than ever. In the days that followed, Clara continued to embrace her journey. She expanded her menu, incorporating seasonal ingredients and exploring new recipes. With Nathan's guidance, she learned about business strategies, marketing, and building a customer base. But most importantly, she learned to embrace the power of her story. Clara often shared her experiences with customers, creating a sense of connection that made her bakery more than just a place to buy pastries. It became a community, a haven for those seeking comfort, laughter, and hope. One chilly evening, as Clara prepared for a special holiday event, she felt a rush of excitement. The cafe was decorated with twinkling lights and festive ornaments, and the aroma of gingerbread filled the air. Customers flowed in, eager to celebrate the season. "Clara, look at this place," Nathan exclaimed, surveying the vibrant atmosphere. "You've truly created something magical." "It feels like home," Clara said, her heart brimming with gratitude. "I never imagined I could build something so beautiful." As the night unfolded, the cafe buzzed with laughter, stories, and connections. Clara watched from behind the counter, her heart swelling with joy. She had transformed her struggles into something beautiful, a testament to resilience and the power of kindness. Just then, a little girl approached the counter, her eyes wide with wonder. "Can I try one of your cookies?" she asked, her voice soft. "Of course. What's your favorite flavor?" Clara asked, kneeling to meet her gaze. "Chocolate chip," the girl beamed. As Clara handed her a freshly baked cookie, the girl's face lit up with delight, and Clara felt a jolt of happiness. "You know, I used to be scared of baking, but now I want to teach everyone that they can follow their dreams too." The girl nodded earnestly. "You're my favorite baker, Clara." In that moment, Clara realized that her journey was about more than just recipes. It was about inspiring others to chase their dreams, no matter their background. With each connection she made, she saw the beauty of the human spirit shining through. As the night drew to a close, Clara stood outside the cafe, the stars twinkling above. She took a deep breath, feeling the joy of her journey envelop her. She had. In the quiet moments after the holiday event, as the last of the laughter faded, and the last customer waved goodbye, Clara stood outside the cafe, her heart awash with gratitude. The twinkling lights draped across the windows shimmered like the stars above, each one a reminder of the journey she had embarked upon. It had been a whirlwind of emotions, fear, joy, and a newfound sense of purpose that enveloped her like a warm quilt on a cold winter night. "Clara!" Nathan called from the cafe door, his silhouette framed by the warm glow inside. "You coming back in? We still have some cleaning up to do." "Just taking a moment to breathe," she replied, smiling as she turned to face him. "It feels surreal, doesn't it? Who would have thought I'd be here, sharing my story and my dreams with so many people?" "It's magical, but it's also hard-earned," he said, stepping outside to join her. "You've poured your heart into this place, and it shows. You've created something that resonates with people, and they feel it." Clara chuckled softly, brushing a stray hair behind her ear. "Sometimes I wonder if it's all a dream. What if I wake up tomorrow and it's all gone?" Nathan shook his head, stepping closer. "You won't. What you've built is real, Clara. It's a testament to your resilience. Remember, every challenge you faced only made you stronger. You're not just a cleaner anymore. You're Clara, the baker and storyteller." As the night air settled around them, Clara felt the weight of his words settle in her heart. The journey had been fraught with challenges. The looming threat of eviction, the mockery of strangers, the constant battle with self-doubt. Yet, with each obstacle, she had discovered her inner strength, the flicker of hope that had ignited a fire within her. "Do you think I'll always feel this way?" Clara asked, her voice softening as she gazed into the distance. "What if I lose this spark?" Nathan placed a reassuring hand on her shoulder. "Clara, it's natural to fear losing what you've gained. But remember, your spark comes from within. It's not dictated by external circumstances. It's fueled by your passion and your story. You'll carry it wherever you go." With a nod, Clara took a deep breath, inhaling the cool night air. "You're right. I've fought hard for this, and I can't let fear overshadow the joy I've found." As they returned to the cafe, the remnants of the event scattered across tables reminded Clara of the connections she had fostered. Each crumb represented a moment of joy, a shared experience that had brought people together. As she wiped down the counters, she reflected on the faces that had come and gone, each one carrying a piece of her journey with them. "Do you ever think about what's next?" Nathan asked, breaking her reverie as they worked together to tidy up. "What's your vision for Clara's Corner?" Clara paused, her hands resting on the counter. "I want it to be a place where dreams are nurtured, where everyone feels they belong. I wanted to host baking classes for kids, share my story, and inspire others to pursue their passions, just like you inspired me." "Now that's a beautiful vision," Nathan said, his eyes lighting up. "Imagine a community of bakers learning from you, sharing their own stories. You could create a ripple effect of kindness and inspiration." "I can see it now," Clara replied, her heart swelling with hope. A warm space filled with laughter and the sweet smell of baked goods, where we can empower each other. In the months that followed, Clara began to transform her vision into reality. She organized baking classes for children and adults alike, creating a nurturing environment where participants could learn techniques while also sharing their dreams. Each session became a celebration of creativity, a reminder that everyone had a unique story worth telling. "Welcome to Clara's Corner baking class," Clara announced one sunny Saturday morning as a group of eager faces gathered around the kitchen. "Today, we'll learn how to make cinnamon rolls, my favorite recipe. Are you all ready?" "Yes," the children shouted, their enthusiasm contagious. As Clara guided them through the process, she felt a renewed sense of purpose. She reveled in their laughter, their curiosity, and their eagerness to learn. She shared not only her baking skills, but also her journey, encouraging them to embrace their dreams, no matter how big or small. "Just remember," she said as the aroma of cinnamon wafted through the air, "every great baker starts somewhere. It's okay to make mistakes. That's how we learn." A little girl named Mia raised her hand, her eyes wide with wonder. "But what if we mess up?" Clara smiled warmly. "Then we learn from it and keep going. Every failure is just a stepping stone to success. Look at me. I was once just a cleaner, and now I'm standing here with all of you, teaching you to bake." The room filled with laughter and chatter as Clara continued to guide them, her heart swelling with pride. She had created a safe haven where dreams flourished, and hope was the main ingredient. As the weeks turned into months, Clara's Corner blossomed into a vibrant community hub. Families gathered to share recipes, and friendships blossomed over the shared love of baking. Clara felt a sense of fulfillment she had never known before, knowing she was making a difference in the lives of others. However, there were still challenges to navigate. The pressures of running a business weighed heavily on her shoulders. Some days felt overwhelming, and doubts crept back in, whispering fears of inadequacy and burnout. One particularly stormy evening, Clara sat at her kitchen table, staring at a pile of bills that seemed to multiply each month. "How am I going to keep this going?" she murmured, her heart heavy. "What if I fail?" Just then, her phone buzzed with a message from Nathan. "Hey, remember our talk about resilience? You've got this. I believe in you." Clara smiled faintly as she read his words. Nathan had become her rock, a constant source of encouragement in her life. His unwavering belief in her abilities lifted her spirits during the darkest times. Taking a deep breath, Clara grabbed a piece of paper and began jotting down her thoughts. "I need to refocus," she whispered to herself. "What do I truly want for Clara's Corner? What's my mission?" As she wrote, the vision of her bakery began to crystallize. She wanted it to be a place of joy, a sanctuary where dreams could be realized. She envisioned hosting community events, collaborating with local artists, and sharing her story with anyone who would listen. When Nathan arrived the next day, Clara greeted him with renewed energy. "I've been thinking about how to expand Clara's Corner. I want it to be more than just a bakery. I want it to be a community space." "I love that idea. What do you have in mind?" Nathan asked, his eyes sparkling with enthusiasm. "I want to host monthly dream nights where people can share their aspirations, collaborate, and support each other. I want it to feel like a family, where everyone feels encouraged to pursue their passions." "Absolutely. Let's start planning," Nathan replied, his excitement palpable. "We can create a schedule, promote it on social media, and invite people to share their stories." With Nathan's support, Clara began to implement her ideas. They set up a cozy corner of the cafe where people could gather, share their dreams, and enjoy her baked goods. The first dream night drew a small but enthusiastic crowd, each person eager to share their aspirations and listen to others. "Welcome, everyone," Clara said, her heart racing with anticipation. "Tonight is about creating connections and inspiring one another. We all have dreams worth pursuing, and together we can make them a reality." As the evening unfolded, Clara witnessed the power of collaboration and support. A woman shared her dream of opening a flower shop, while a young musician expressed his desire to record an album. Each story was met with encouragement and ideas, and Clara felt a sense of fulfillment wash over her. "Clara, this is incredible," Nathan whispered as they stood together, watching the connections form. "You've created something special here, a community of dreamers." "Yes, and it all started with a simple cinnamon roll," Clara chuckled, her heart swelling with pride. "I never would have imagined that my journey would lead to this." As the weeks turned into months, Clara's Corner continued to flourish. The community events became a regular occurrence, bringing people together in ways she had only dreamed of. Clara watched as friendships blossomed, ideas flourished, and hope spread like wildfire. One evening, as she cleaned up after a particularly successful dream night, Clara felt a familiar sense of gratitude wash over her. She had come so far from the days of doubt and fear. She was no longer just a cleaner. She was a beacon of hope, a source of inspiration for those around her. As she locked up the cafe for the night, her heart brimmed with joy. She stepped outside, gazing at the stars twinkling above, and whispered a silent thank you to the universe. "Thank you for guiding me on this journey. I'm ready for whatever comes next." With a renewed sense of purpose, Clara knew that her story was far from over. Each day was a new opportunity to inspire and uplift.